is Leah. I'm a makeup enthusiast, and this is my mom and my best friend. As makeup wearers, it's always hard to find the perfect match, but as women of color, it's even harder. I went on a quest to see how difficult, depending upon scale, when you look around the stores and counters and you don't necessarily see yourself, how hard is it to find the perfect shade? I went to them with my questions.
What about your first encounter with foundation? How was that?
Very exciting. I went to, I believe it was Macy's, to the makeup counter, and my makeup of choice was Clinique, and I chose a foundation from their line.
Was it easy or difficult to find the right shade?
Um, it was fairly easy.
It was fairly easy? Okay.
So, in your experience of buying foundations, face products, what has your experience been like?
It depends. Different brands, obviously. Some I can go right to. Like, I'm more like Lancome, like perfect. Like, find my shade, we're done. Other products, like if I want to go like an off-brand Elf or just drugstore or whatever, it's a little hard.
So, you have to go high end if you want to be included.
Yes.
So, when you get a scope of what is called typical or drugstore beauty products, do you feel like it's easy for you? Do you feel included? And what has that told you about beauty?
No, I don't feel included.
Okay.
Not all the time. I'm not saying that I'm not always included, because I think I am kind of at the stopping part of it, like right at like, this is where we're at. There's maybe like one more shade, maybe two that are darker than me, but I'm like, okay, I'm not the darkest, so yeah, higher end makeups definitely tend to be a little bit more on the spectrum versus, like I said, the drugstore where it's just like me and maybe somebody else. So, and then it's just kind of like, well then, that doesn't feel so great.
There's a pretty big divide when it comes to cosmetics, and advertising plays a very big part in that. There seems to always be at least one sense of minority in every ad, but it seems a bit contrived. Like you have a place, but there's only place for just one, and that one is definitely a type. Advertisers do little to blur these lines, as we see in these two ads for Maybelline. In InStyle, we see an ad featuring Adriana Lima. But in a similar ad by the same company, in Essence, we see an ad featuring Harriet Paul, a very different model.
When you're thinking of inclusion, do you feel like the beauty industry mirrors what society has told you, or does it reflect something different?
No, it definitely mirrors, like,
Can you elaborate on that?
well, if I was just going to put it frankly, like, you're not as beautiful as everybody else. Why should we cater to you? You won't sell. You're not, there's no representation, so we're not going to include you. So if we don't see it, if it's not being bought, then why make it? So it's just like, but there are other people out there. So.
Right. When you purchase beauty, do you mindfully think about buying foundation as opposed to buying lipstick, buying eyeshadow? Is it something you have to think about more than being like, I can just pick up other things?
Yes. Okay. Yes, I have to, because if I'm buying a lipstick or mascara or anything, I know what I want, I know the color, boom, done. If it's foundation, I have to test it. I have to make sure. I have to get a second opinion. Sometimes I have to mix colors. There's more of a process. I can't just go like, boom.
Do you feel like it's harder for Black women especially to embody or embrace a natural sense of beauty because it's already stigmatized in society?
Yes, I do. I do feel like Black women, I think we've always felt we had to go the extra mile to prove that we're just as beautiful, because we were never put on magazines or on advertising for makeup, and instead of our white counterparts. they were always put in the forefront, and still are. Even though things are changing and black women are being more recognized, but again, it has to be a name that's put out there. Like you have to have a name for yourself. Lupita Nyong'o and Halle Berry and people of that sort, and Queen Latifah. It's just not the cover girl, everyday girl.
It seems like companies are getting the hint, adding more spectrum to their color scales. Even drugstore brands are starting to broaden their horizons when it comes to color. Magazines have even become more inclusive in their ads, using models of all colors in the same advertisement. We see them not only in cosmetics, but in fashion and shoes alike. As I flip through this, we see hair products, clothing, even home goods that feature models in the same ad, but of different spectrums. While some brands are still trying to hit the mark when it comes to color, they are making strides, but one is standing out above the rest. So if one can do it on their debut launch, I'm hopeful more can do it in the future.